The dancing plague of 1518 remains one of the most puzzling events in history. It began in July of that year in Strasbourg, then part of the Holy Roman Empire, now France. A woman named Frau Trophea started dancing fervently in the street. Within days, dozens of people joined her, and the phenomenon grew to include as many as 400 participants over the summer. Many danced without stopping, collapsing from exhaustion, and some reportedly died from strokes, heart attacks, or sheer fatigue. But what caused this bizarre event? Historians and scientists have proposed several theories. Mass hysteria or psychogenic illness is one of the leading explanations. The dancing plague was a case of mass hysteria, also known as psychogenic illness. During this time, Strasbourg was plagued by extreme hardships, including famine, disease, and widespread poverty. The region had recently suffered from a series of failed harvests, leaving the population malnourished and vulnerable. The psychological stress and collective anxiety may have triggered a hysterical outbreak. In such cases, individuals under extreme psychological pressure can manifest physical symptoms often influenced by cultural or societal factors. The communal nature of medieval life could have amplified the phenomenon, as people mirrored each other's behavior in a sort of contagious psychological response. Ergot poisoning is another prominent theory that suggests ergot poisoning might have been to blame. Ergot is a fungus that can grow on rye and other grains in damp conditions. When consumed, it produces toxic alkaloids, including lysergic acid, a precursor to LSD. Symptoms of ergot poisoning, also known as ergotism, include hallucinations, convulsions, and mania, all of which could resemble the uncontrolled movements seen in the dancing plague. However, ergot poisoning typically causes more convulsive and spasmodic symptoms. This is rather than the coordinated dancing witnessed in Strasbourg. Additionally, ergotism often results in severe pain due to vasoconstriction. This makes it unlikely for afflicted individuals to engage in prolonged physical activity like dancing. Religious and supernatural beliefs also play a role. The cultural and religious context of the time cannot be ignored. Medieval Europe was steeped in superstition and religious fervor. Saint Vitus, a Catholic saint, was believed to have the power to curse individuals with uncontrollable dancing fits if they incurred his wrath. Some participants may have believed they were cursed, and this belief could have fueled their behavior, either through psychosomatic responses or peer influence. The collective faith in supernatural causes may have also perpetuated the outbreak, as people joined in either out of fear, religious ecstasy, or an attempt to appease the saint. Social and environmental stressors were also significant. The early 16th century was a turbulent time in Europe, marked by political upheaval, famine, and the early stirrings of the Protestant Reformation. Strasbourg itself was a hotbed of religious and social tension. The dancing plague may have served as a psychological release for a population under immense strain, channeling their collective anxiety into a dramatic and physical expression. Responses and aftermath were notable as well. Local authorities initially tried to treat the phenomenon by encouraging more dancing. They hired musicians and cleared spaces for participants to dance, believing that the only way to end the plague was for the afflicted to dance it out. This approach, however, likely exacerbated the situation. Eventually, the outbreak subsided, but not before leaving a lasting impression on the region. Modern parallels suggest that while the dancing plague seems extraordinary, modern examples of mass psychogenic illness suggest that such events are not entirely confined to history. Episodes of inexplicable behaviors, such as laughing fits, fainting spells, or twitching movements, have occurred in schools, workplaces, and communities under stress.